Welcome back, folks. This is Sean from the beautiful winelands of South Africa. This is the Purpose Inspired Life podcast. I think it's episode number 7. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If it's the first one you've ever watched, then you're in for a treat today because I'm going to just pour out my heart. If you're in a place where you're thinking there's got to be more to who I am, there's more to who I want to be, do, and have in life, then this is going to be the podcast for you to listen to. For those of you who've followed along on previous podcasts, thank you so much for liking, commenting, sharing. The last couple of weeks have been tough for me, I've got to say, and for our family. We lost our dear mom. She's 95.5. So people often say, oh, well, she had a good life. She did have a good life. She had a great life. Didn't make it any easier when she passed away, I can tell you. I said to someone who asked me a little bit about how we were doing, I said, I think that it's like having two people that come to stay in your house. And grief is going to come less often and spend less time. It's always going to be there. Always going to be there. It's probably going to happen in moments, a little bit like peeling that onion. All of a sudden you find yourself just sort of, crying, pepper spray in the room, And we get those moments, as we pick up something. As I'm looking just past the camera now, I'm looking at a beautiful picture of my mom. She was an absolute stunner, let me tell you. Maybe I'll pop a picture up of mom. She was a stunner, and you can see why she caught my dad's eye when she did in her mid-20s. But beautiful inside and out. So we have those moments when we see pictures, or her first name was June, and we always say Juneisms, and my dad was Les. We have Lesisms. It's like this a saying, that happens, and my dad used to say when they were watching a good movie, "It's good, June." And so you're watching a good movie, and Michelle will say to me, "It's good, June." And in that moment, there's that. Oh, I can feel it now as I'm sharing this with you. That sense of grief, that loss. And then there's that overwhelming sense of gratitude. Thank you, God. Thank you that she had a peaceful transition. Thank you, God, that she was still healthy until that last moment. It's the way to go. And we are so, so grateful. So grief will come less often, but gratitude is here to stay. In our house, gratitude is here to stay. I was watching, as I get into today's podcast, I was watching a podcast, actually, a video podcast of a young lady who did really, really well in her life, very successful. And in the middle of her story, she shared how, at the height of her success, multi-dollar millionaire, young, 27, 28 years of age, and houses here in Monaco and whatever. She just had this absolute sense of a lack of identity, a lack of purpose. Shouldn't say the word purpose, but being somebody that speaks and coaches about purpose and has done for the last 15 years, it's really just that sort of why am I here? What am I doing? What's happening in my life? I've got the things, the modcons, and on the outside, everyone would be like, wow, look at you, wow, so successful. But in her heart, there was just this absolute sense of emptiness. And she eventually sold the business, had a few children, went through that, and took about 3 or 4 years to really come to the point of saying, why she's alive. She didn't go into all the depth of that. But a question I have for you today, as I have always had for myself, is like, who are you? Who are you really? When I wish I could just have a direct DM line to some of these celebrities out there that I see struggling so often. I know everyone struggles fundamentally with the same thing. It's that sense of, or lack of, meaning. Like, who am I? What am I doing here? You sitting there on the other side of this camera watching this video right now, or maybe it's the person you know very well. Maybe it's the celebrity. Maybe you know that singer, that speaker, that coach, that trainer. Maybe you know that politician. Maybe you know that film star, whatever, who cannot speak to anybody because they're guarding their space. They're guarding their hearts because, what if it gets out? I want, on my heart today, this is really my plea for you. If this is you or someone you know, I want you to know that you have a direct line to me. Never, ever let it be said that there was no one that you could call on. I'm telling you today that there's someone that you can call on. DM me, email me, phone me, speak to me. and let's have that conversation. So I'm opening up my coaching slots for the next few months, for the next 90 days now, and I really want to just put it out there to you on the other side of the screen. Reach out if you are looking for a coach. Reach out if you're looking for a mentor. Reach out if you're just looking for a friend. If you're just really looking for somebody to be a listening ear, a sounding board. What I've found from my own experience, and you've probably seen this too in your life, it's the mastermind effect. You come to a conversation, a meeting, a coaching time, and honestly, sometimes that coach, that mentor, doesn't even give you the answer. The answer arrives express mail in the moment. Isn't that wonderful? I love that. So I finish with this. People often ask me, Sean, but what's your purpose? You always talk about purpose. But what's your purpose? I summarize it like this, and I've said this a few times before. You might have heard this. I bust pots. I bust pots. Muhammad Yunus from the Green Bank talked about there's no real difference between the seed of a normal tree and the seed of a bonsai tree. It's the pot that curtails its growth. Where have you been planted? Or where have you maybe planted yourself? You might have really started off well in life and come from a great family, but you might have transplanted yourself into a marriage, into a relationship, into a job, into a life of limiting beliefs and fears and anxieties, that small little pot, and you believe for yourself, for some strange reason, you cannot grow. You're not worthy of the life that you really, really want, or the marriage that you want. And so you self-sabotage your own success. I'm here to bust that pot. That is my purpose in life. You could put it differently. I had a mandate really kind of spoken into my life many years ago, 2008. It was as clear as daylight. Sean, all I'm asking you to do is to destroy the mindset of poverty over people. And I said, yes, that's my desire. That's my mandate. That's more of a spiritual way of putting it. But I just love to say, I bust pot. Folks, I'm putting this out again. This might be for you. It might be for somebody that you know. Just sneakily send them a link of the YouTube video, wherever you found this. The video is there. The audio is there of today's podcast. I think podcast number 7, as I say. Beautiful number, that. Number 7. This might just be your podcast. And I don't know if I'm going to do another podcast for a while. I'll just see how my heart goes. I'll just see how things are. I'm in deep state of reflection myself right now as I journey through life. But I want to tell you this, that my door is always open to at least exploring and discovering with you the next steps of your life, busting your pot. So if you'll allow me to bust your pot, reach out to me. My details are all over the internet, on my Facebook, on my website, and the email addresses are there, the numbers are there, my DMs are open. Reach out to me. This has been Sean from the beautiful winelands of South Africa. Hey, until we meet again, God bless. Cheers.